I thought our marriage was perfect. He just thought it was convenient. The very first time I saw Daniel, he was a hero, a knight in shining armor rescuing my family's company from the brink of bankruptcy. He was powerful, brilliant, and impossibly handsome. The second time I saw him, he was on one knee, holding a flawless platinum ring, telling me I was the only woman he had ever truly loved. What I didn't know then was that his own family as business was teetering on the edge of failure. Our merger, both corporate and personal, was his father's master plan, a brilliant solution to save them both. Looking back, I should have questioned it. Why would a man who could have any woman in the world choose me and choose me so quickly? But I was too lost, too caught up in falling deeply in love with him. I fell for the way he always remembered my exact coffee order, how his hand would find the smell of my back in a crowded room, a silent anchor just for me. I adored the way he'd de-whisper my wife, like it was the most precious phrase in the world. For 18 incredible months, I lived in what I believed was a modern-day fairy tale. I learned the soft rhythm of his breathing as he slept beside me, the quiet way he'd hum a tune while making breakfast, and the secret lopsided smile he saved only for me. In the privacy of our home, I called him my heart. In public, I called him my husband with a swelling pride. I only ever used his name, Daniel, when I was pretending to be annoyed about something small, like him leaving his socks on the floor. It was our little game. Then came the night my fairy tale shattered. I had come home early from a charity gala, a wave of nausea making me want nothing more than my own bed. I found him on the terrace, his back to me, the city lights twinkling below. His voice, when he spoke into his phone, was cold, unfamiliar, and all business. "The financial transfer is complete," he said, his tone clipped. "Another 6 months, just until the merger is fully solidified, and then we can quietly separate. She'd never have to know it was just for the business." The world seemed to tilt on its axis. The delicate champagne flute I was still holding slipped from my suddenly numb fingers. It shattered on the marble floor, the sound echoing the breaking of my own heart. He spun around, his face draining of all color when he saw me standing there, a ghost in my own home. "Isabella," he started, taking a step toward me. "Just for the business?" I whispered, the words tearing their way out of my throat, raw and painful. "All of it? The dates, the vows, the way you touch me?" My hand instinctively went to my stomach, protectively covering the tiny secret life I had been so excited to tell him about that very night. "Our child," he moved toward me again, his expression desperate. "Isabella, just let me explain." "Explain what?" I choked out, the tears finally breaking free. "Explain how you expertly made me fall in love with you? How you made me believe I was your entire world when I was just ... a line item in a business arrangement?" His eyes, the eyes I loved so much, usually so warm and full of light, were frantic. "It started that way, but don't." I cut him off, the words sharp and final. "Don't you dare stand there and tell me it became real. Not after what I just heard you say." I turned and fled to the guest room, locking the door, the sound of his pleas and fists against the wood fading into the background of my own sobbing. The next few days were a blur of suffocating silence and shattered, questioning looks across the dinner table. He tried to talk, to explain, to breach the wall of ice I had built around my heart, but I couldn't bear to hear another lie. I couldn't let him hurt me more. The final break, or so I thought, came at his parents' anniversary party. I stood dutifully by his side, my face fixed in a perfect, polite smile, playing the role of the devoted wife one last time while my world crumbled inside me. At one point, his mother, a kind woman I'd grown to adore, pulled me aside. She patted my hand, her eyes filled with a knowing softness. "You look a little pale, dear," she said gently. "The first trimester can be so difficult." I froze, my blood turning to ice. "How did you— Oh, Daniel told us last week," she said, her face lighting up with a bright, genuine smile. "He's been absolutely glowing. He keeps saying this baby is the best thing that has ever happened to him, that it made him realize what truly matters in life." I just stared at her, my mind reeling. Confusion was at war with the white-hot betrayal still burning in my chest. "Last week?" Before she could elaborate, Daniel was there, his hand resting gently on my elbow. His touch, once a comfort, now felt like a brand. "Can we please talk?" he begged, his voice raw with an emotion I couldn't place. Somewhere private, he led me to the quiet wood-paneled library, closing the heavy doors behind us. He turned to face me, his shoulders slumped in what looked like utter defeat. "The phone call you heard," he began, his voice trembling slightly. I was talking to my lawyer, yes. But I wasn't talking about a separation. I crossed my arms, a physical barrier trying to hold myself together. Then what were you talking about? I challenged. I was restructuring everything, he said, running a hand through his hair in a gesture I once found so endearing. Now it just looked desperate. My assets, the company shares. I was putting it all in your name. He took a hesitant step closer. The merger, it was the excuse my father used to get us together. That part is true. But Isabella, I fell in love with you the moment you stood up to me and argued about the seating chart for our own wedding. He was closer now, his eyes shining with unshed tears. That phone call, that was me making sure that no matter what happened between our families or the business or even between us, you and our baby would always be protected. That you would be so secure you'd never have to rely on anyone, ever again. My mother was right, I whispered, my own voice finally breaking. You knew about the baby? Of course I knew, he said, his voice dropping to a soft murmur. I found the pregnancy test in the bathroom wastebasket a month ago. I've just been waiting for you to tell me yourself, hoping it meant you trusted me. His hand came up so gently to cradle my cheek. I didn't realize I never knew you thought so little of me. That you could actually believe I could fake the way I feel about you. And then, he dropped to his knees before me, his hands wrapping around mine, holding them tight. The business, Isabella, it brought us together, but it's you I can't live without. You and our child, you are my real empire. You are the only one that will ever matter. He kissed me, Ben, his tears mingling with my own, and in that moment I realized the most painful betrayals aren't always in the lies we are told. Sometimes they are in the truths we are too afraid to believe. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever had a misunderstanding that almost cost you everything, let me know in the comments. And please don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.